You're watching Deck Pass Live. Hello everybody, I'm Geoff Cummings here in Mesa, Arizona, just east of Phoenix at the beautiful Skyline Aquatic Center. The weather is great for the third stop, of the TYR Pro Swim Series. We're going to see a lot of great swims. If the first two stops are any indication, we're going to see some world-class swims from Olympic champions and maybe even future Olympic champions. So it's great to be back here at the Deck Pass Live desk. So I'll keep you up to date on what I've been doing since you last saw me here covering the World Championships. So I'm the co-owner of Dolphins of the Desert Swimming Academy, and I spend most of my days teaching swim lessons to kids and adults. And one of the big things that has transpired for our swim school is being named a local partner for Make a Splash, which is part of the USA Swimming Foundation. And it's a great thing to be a part of that. So thank you to the USA Swimming Foundation for your support of us. So as I said, we're here at Skyline for the third stop and the TYR Swim Series, and we're going to see a lot of familiar faces here, some of whom have some new names, including Kelsey Worrell, who is now Kelsey Dahlia, and Michael Lawrence, who is now Michael Sumrall. And then another familiar face you're going to have here is Chase Kalish, who has just been running through the 200 and 400 IMs, and he's just obviously, I think he's going to do the same here after a great prelim swim today. So you want to come to the pool not just to see some of the best swimmers in the world, but also to interact with them. When we got some great events for you, as you see here. If you come to finals tonight, you can get a stadium seat cushion. And then if you look there, you can see the three ladies you can get autographs with tonight. Kelsey Worrell Dahlia, as I mentioned earlier, Leah Smith, Molly Hannes. All three of them were 2016 Olympians, and it's going to be great. These three are great ladies, and you don't want to miss that. And you can look further down the line, see some names you can get autographs from, and it's going to be awesome. So let's talk about the TYR standings as we go through the Pro Swim Series so far here. As I said, this is the third of 6 stops, and the first 2 stops have been very competitive. And we want to look at the leaderboard through 2 meets, okay? So first off, on the men's side, we got Chase Kalish, who leads the way, followed very closely by Zane Grothy, just 1 point behind. We got Jack Conger, Nathan Adrian, and Ryan Murphy there. And then on the women's side, Taylor Ruck very far ahead. Taylor Ruck just had a phenomenal performance at the Commonwealth Games, and then followed by Madison Cox, Li Bingji, Melly Margalis, who is here, and Margot Gear is running up in 5th. So that leaderboard on the women's side just may change, and the men's side is going to see how close Chase Kalish and Zane Grothy can do leading up through this meet. So I'm joined here at the Deck Pass Live desk by 2-time Olympian Leah Neal. Leah, it's great to see you.
Hi, good to be here.
So you just want to have 2 events today here to start things off, 100 butterfly, 200 freestyle. So tell us how that went for you.
They're both a little just like too easy, and that makes sense because like I've been traveling. I just got back to the States like a little over a week ago, and just getting back into the swing of things with like finishing up my classes and just like getting into that rhythm again. So the 100 fly was like a nice little like warm up, and it's always fun to do like just off events, and the 200 free was just like very pretty, so like gonna have to like turn it on a bit tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. So you talked about you just got back to the States. Where were you?
I was traveling for like 3.5 months and just training with different teams. So I was in Australia, and then like with a few different teams in the US, and then was just in Eindhoven for 3 weeks training with the Dutch team, and just got back from there.
Oh, that must be some great perspectives you got on not just training, but just your, a different worldview.
Yeah, I'm really glad I did it. I learned a lot and had a lot of fun and met a lot of really great people.
Yeah, it's obviously one of the advantages you have. You're now a professional swimmer, post-grad swimmer, so great way to spend your first year away from being an NCAA athlete.
Yeah, really glad I did it.
So while you're away, your Stanford teammates were really training hard, and it paid off with their 2nd championship in a row. I know you were part of it last year, and I know you were very instrumental in kind of building the team up to get that championship last year. What was it like for you to know that they were so dominant this year and did so well?
Yeah, it was just like, you just knew like that they were going to dominate like from the beginning. And I was watching like from the Netherlands. I was watching the live stream and like at like 11 p.m. at night, but like I didn't care because like I wanted to see like how they were doing, and and obviously they were doing really well. It was just like really awesome to see like all these records like go down. It was a pretty spectacular meet for like all of the team from like bottom to top. So yeah, it was like just an overall really like great team effort.
Yeah, and I'm sure they were thinking of you while they were racing because they knew you were, you know, one of those members that they couldn't have done it without them.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. Yeah.
So to talk about what else you're going to be doing here, you're going to be running a swim clinic on Saturday with Swim 1992, which is a part of one of the USA Swimming's partners, the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's so great that Sigma Gamma Rho has partnered with USA Swimming to really just advocate like the need to just be water safe, and really I was part of it in Atlanta as well, the last stop, and it was just really cool because like a lot of these women like in that like group of 20 had like either never like touched the water before, or like that was like one of their first like couple of times. So it's just like really cool to see just like in that like hour how much like they had progressed from being scared to like put their like face in the water to like actually doing like some like dolphin kicks and like floating. They were floating better than like I could. So yeah, it's just like really cool to like go back to like the beginning steps of like swimming, and just to see like how much accomplishment you can see in like in those women, and just like the joy that they have like while doing it.
Yeah, it probably, like you said, change your perspective about the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely would. I would imagine, as someone who teaches people how to swim a lot, it definitely does make you think more about not just swimming back and forth. It's all the little things that you have to learn just to be able just to move in any way.
Yeah, definitely makes you appreciate it. Like in my case, like just being in the sport for like 17 years and just kind of like going back to like the basics and like remembering like why you got into it, and just like remembering like how swimming used to make you feel like when you were younger.
Yeah, and probably you're also an inspiration to them. You know, your story of making 2 Olympic teams and being an African American, I'm sure it really, you know, motivates them to say, if you've done it, you've got in the water and you've done very well, I can do it too.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's really nice to hear that. I also think it's like really important for people to just like see representation, to like see someone like them like accomplish like what they accomplished, so then that like opens like so many more doors for them, and not only them but also like their children, and just like, and it keeps just like rolling on and on.
Yeah, well, it's great that you're doing this, Leah, and welcome back to the States, and have fun the rest of the week here in Mesa.
Thank you. I will.
All right, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Ray Looze will join us on Deck Pass Live.
Thank you.
Sigma Gamma Rho is a leading organization. It is an organization that defies all odds.
Welcome back, everybody, to Deck Pass Live. Again, I'm Geoff Cummings here at the Skyline Aquatic Center. And joining me at the Deck Pass Live desk is Ray Looze, head coach of the Indiana women's and men's swim team. Ray, it's good to see you.
It's good to be here, Geoff.
So just a little bit of disclosure here. Ray and I go back a long time. Ray was at the University of Texas first as a graduate assistant, but when I got there as a freshman, he was there training for the Olympic trials and got in the breaststroke lane and kicked our butts a few times. So breaststrokers all the way. So it was great. It's great to see you, progressing through the sport and being a coach. And it's great to see that you are head coach of the men's team at the Pan Pacs. That's an awesome achievement.
Yeah, it's a super big honor, and I'm real grateful to Lindsay Mintenko and Tim Hinchy for the trust, and we look forward to having a really fantastic competition in Tokyo this summer. You know, we're 2 years out of 2020, so I think it's going to be a great opportunity for everyone that gets to participate.
What was your reaction when you got the notification you were going to be leading the team?
Little disbelief, because some of the things over the last 2 years that have happened, it's been like stuff I never thought would happen. And I've always been a big fan of the underdog, so you know, it's good to see, you know, Indiana and in Arthur's case, Louisville getting a little bit of opportunity.
Right. So we're about 3 months away from Pan Pacs, so it's still a long ways away, but I'm sure you're watching the competition closely. The Aussies just had the Commonwealth Games. The Japanese did pretty well at their nationals. I mean, I would imagine, I mean, Pan Pacs is the United States big meet of the year. How do you think that the men are going to do compared to the rest of the world in 2018?
Well, this is, you know, we're building to 2020, so what we do this summer lays groundwork for next summer and beyond. So Japan, China, Australia, and various other, you know, countries they're going to put up their best in Tokyo, and you know, I think we're going to have some new people coming onto the national A team, so I think we're going to do great. We're the best swimming country in the world, and the more competition we have, the better.
Yeah. Now, you were talking about you used to be the underdog. I don't think you're the underdog any longer, Ray. Third place on the men's team at NCAA's a couple of weeks ago. Now, obviously, you know, when you're at the beginning of the season, you talk about to the team about what's possible and what could happen. Did you imagine that someone like Ian Finnerty would go 49 in the 100 breaststroke, Blake would go 129 in the 200 free, you'd have Michael Hickson doing well in diving, and just all across the board, not just with your men, but even with your women, just performing to a level that they did?
So I can't play the underdog card anymore?
Not anymore. I think everybody knows what you're doing up there in Bloomington.
You know, it's just, it's so humbling to see those kids buy into the whole process. Our former coach, Eddie Reese, always used to say, you never blow a taper, you blow a season. So I've always put a lot of credit into the season. And Ian and Blake, they train great. Lily always trains great. So they've been working toward this, and it's just nice to see them get some breakthroughs, and hopefully we'll see that translate into the long course season as well.
Yeah, so this is, you know, a lot of the college swimmers are here. None of your college swimmers are here just coming off NCAAs. A lot of them are here just right off short course season, kind of, you know, getting through the long course right now. And you've got a couple of your postgrads here are doing pretty well so far. Cody Miller in the 200 breaststroke, Zane Grothy in the 200 freestyle. What are your thoughts about how they swam this morning?
I thought you know, the times weren't that great, but they swam good races. Margot Gear, we got to swim the 2 free. She was a little worried about that, but she did it, and she's top 8. And then we do have one collegiate swimmer here. Ian Finnerty is going to swim 100 breast and 50 breast at the back end. So I thought we did pretty well. You know, we're still in pretty heavy training, so tonight I'm looking forward to some big drops from what we did this morning.
Well, I think, you know, Zane and Cody, they know how to swim at night, so I think it's going to be, you know, they're not in their peak physical condition, as nobody really is at this meet, but it'll be interesting to see how they race.
Yeah, you know, this is an outdoor pool in Irvine. The qualification for Pan Pacs and World Championships is going to be the same, so that's why they wanted to be here, and they've been training great. So I think you know, as this meet goes on, we might be able to post some pretty competitive times, and we see what's happening at Commonwealth Games and beyond, so we know we got to stay sharp.
Yeah, Nationals is, as you said, a very important meet. It's not just qualifying for Pan Pacs, it's qualifying for next year's Worlds. So you can't just slip up and say, well, I didn't make Pan Pacs, I got next year for Worlds. It's pretty much all or nothing between now and even the Olympic trials.
It's huge. I mean, if you don't do what you want this summer, then you're sitting on the sideline for 2 years, basically. So we know how critical it is, and we've been training and preparing in every aspect. And we have a really, really good group right now between the pros and the varsity swimmers. We've had a bunch of, you know, people visiting from USA Swimming to visiting coaches, and they keep saying the same thing. We've kind of established an Olympic culture, which is probably the best compliment we could get, because that's where we want to be.
Right. Yeah. You want to get back to those days of Doc Councilman, where he was just churning them out one after another. That was, you know, one of those coaches that, you know, everybody wants to be.
He was incredible, and Indiana, they love swimming, and from the president on down to the athletic director, they really support us well. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and you got your postgrads who are supporting you, Cody. I've seen him on social media constantly promoting the IU swimmers, and was just over the moon when they were third in NCAAs, because obviously he had a big part and he trains with them.
He does, and like the pros consider all those guys teammates, and you know, we were in the national title hunt, and it just showed us that we can do it. So that's kind of the next thing we'd like to do, is win a national title.
Yeah. So speaking of Cody, we're going to have him on Deck Pass Live tonight. We're going to be talking to him about a lot of things. He's one of our favorite guests on the show. Is there any hard-hitting question I should ask him?
You know, Cody's anything to do with movies, he's pretty sharp, but you know, he probably is the guy that started all this for us. When he won at Irvine 4 years ago, this coming July, that changed everything for our program, and he's been a real leader. He's generous with his time, but you know, if you can stump him on some movie stuff, that'd be impressive.
Well, I'm a movie buff too, so I'll see what I can think up for him. See if I can give him those hard-hitting. See if we can stump Cody Miller. That'll be our job tonight in Deck Pass Live. So, speaking of tonight, we got a lot of finals races. They're sure to be impressive. We got the men's and women's 400 IM, the 100 butterfly, the 200 backstroke, the 200 breaststroke, the 200 freestyle, and the mixed medley relay, which is one of my favorite races to watch. It's going to be an Olympic event, so I know there's going to be a lot of teams trying to see what they can do to kind of put up some really exciting stuff. So, be sure to come back to us tonight after finals for Deck Pass Live. As I said, Cody will be here, and we don't want you to miss it. Be sure to come here either to our usaswimming.org /Deck Pass Live, or go to our Facebook page to watch live. And as always, you can go to usaswimming.org /Deck Pass Live to watch previous Deck Pass Live shows from Atlanta and Austin. So that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm Geoff Cummings, and we'll see you tonight.